starting a new series called Trim the Hedges, where I pretty much find a hedge fund that has invested in a stock that I feel is undervalued and they are loading the boat. So today I'm following a particular stock and a particular hedge fund. I'm also going to do a deep dive into that company and why I think this one shows a lot of potential and it hasn't broken out yet. So I have a list here of all the things I'm going to look at. I'm going to do a deep dive into this company. This is going to be more of a technical video, deep diving into the company and why certain specific hedge funds are loading up on it. As you can see, if you're looking at the screen, I'm doing ticker AONE, which they are acquiring Markforged. They're a 3D printing company. Now, the reason why I like this one is because they haven't broke out yet. Also, it's very cheap still. It's undervalued. It's discounted. Hedge funds and institutions, they're all loading up. They're not selling. So we're going to dive into that. And at the end of the video, I'm going to give price targets. I'm going to do a technical analysis of where I think the stock's going to go. So this is going to be a series where I do this maybe once a week or anytime I find a promising stock that a big hedge fund or hedge fund I really like is loading up on it. The whole point of the name, Trim the Hedges, is pretty much we're shadowing what a hedge fund is doing. We're taking little trimmings, just a little bit. We're not taking the whole cake because we're not big. We're little guys. We're just taking a little bit off the edges and collecting those crumbs, and we're fine with that because we don't have a lot of money. We're a smaller group, smaller channel, so we have smaller funds, and we're trying to make that money. We're trying to hit the goal of retiring young. So let's dig into this one. Again, ticker is AONE, Markforged. So first, you have to think, why is 3D printing important and why is this company going to do well? That's why I think these videos are good to watch because it's all compiled into a short video. So 3D printing, why it's important is because it could produce products that you want, customized in any way you could imagine. It could print them. It's like art. You can think something up and then have it printed. So that's the benefit of using 3D printed. It also, you don't need all the tools. So that's another big reason why 3D printing is so big, because you don't need the tools. It's just a printer. So, I mean, that's what it says right here. 3D printing can produce different objects without creating specific tooling or even using several tools. This is how 3D printing helps increasing flexibility in the production flow and helps reducing industrial expenses. It's another green flag. Less expenses because you're spending less money on manufacturing through different plants and finding the tools to do it. It's all done in one 3D printing machine. Now, before we get into the institutions and who's holding this, who's buying it, and all that good fun stuff, look at their customers. Their customers are massive. NASA, Bentley, US Air Force, Microsoft, John Deere, Toyota, Harley, Porsche, Disney, and the big guys, Amazon and Google. So these are their clients. This is who uses their machines for 3D printing. All these guys. Top 9 global manufacturing companies are using Markforged 3D printers to transform their processes. Top 10 global aerospace companies are using it. Global universities are using it. So AONE is managing the acquisition of Markforged. Eventually, Markforged will have a ticker of its own, and they'll be under that ticker on the exchange. So the fund that I'm following is ARK. ARK has been buying this thing up consistently. Looking at this window here, these are all the buys ARK has made of Markforged, ticker AONE. So they are secretly loading up with small buys, 0.06, 0.04, 0.03, 0.15. It's all over the board. They're not letting up. 0 sells. So they started buying this one on February 24th. And have made many buys, and another green flag is no sells. Not one single sell, even though the stock is downtrending. The stock is consistently, right now, it's kind of bouncing around. I'm going to do an analysis on it and show you because there's a lot of good green indicators, but 0 sells. So that's one thing I like. If we look at new positions, 43 new positions overall, not just with ARK, with all hedge funds, institutions, 43 holders, 15 million shares, no sellout positions. So that's a green flag. We'll have to wait till the next quarter is available. This is as of December. So we'll have to wait for those 13 Fs to populate in here, but 0 sells. So another green flag, 70% institutional ownership, which is huge. So that only leaves 30% for insiders and retail. So 70% is a big number of institutional holders, which I like to see. I like to see that number higher the better, because these are smart people. There's no diamond hands on this team. Okay, it's just smart investors. Now, if we scroll down, we can see a list of all the institutions holding AONE. We have Millennium Management having the biggest position, 18 million in value. They have 1.6 million shares. New position, Element, Next Hudson, UBS, all these other big hedge funds investing in AONE in the early days before they are even completely merged and under the new ticker. So when that happens, that's when I think liftoff is really going to happen, but we might have small pops in between. And I did a video on this company I think a month or two ago, and I didn't go that deep into the details on this, but this is a look at the printer. I mean, you can make pieces for anything. Car companies, like I said, aerospace, any company. You have this printer, you type in the blueprint, the formula, spits it out like a fortune cookie. So the ticker is going to be MKFG 2013, so they've been around quite a while. Microsoft, Porsche, obviously big clients of theirs. This is super interesting. The pipe investors are massive. BlackRock, we know BlackRock because I just did an institution video on institutions buying crypto. They're managing trillions of dollars, and Wellington Management is huge as well. They'll own 10% of the company. Now, this analysis I found on this article on Market Realist is very bullish. It says its addressable market is on track to reach 118 billion in 2029 from 18 billion in 2021. Markforged has enough room to quickly grow quickly even with competition. The company generated 70 million in revenue in 2020. The revenue is forecast to grow more than 10x to reach 706 million in 2025. Also, profit is only a few years away. So this is a growth long-term company, but it's under the radar. It's not moving. Here's some more of their customers. These are all the blue chip customers: GE, Airbus, US military, and SpaceX, also Toyota. So like I said, the customers are there. They're huge. They're going to keep ordering from these guys because they're really good. So the stock is pulling back today. I think it's down. What's it down? 0.5%. Here is our support line, our critical support line, because it is look like it's going to test it. It's probably going to break below it into the 10s, and that's even cheaper. I wanted to find out what ARK's average is, so we could do that by looking here. Like I said, they're the most transparent institution. They list all their trades daily. Typically, hedge funds have to, they don't want to release this. They want to keep it secret. They release it in quarterly reports, 13Fs. So you don't know what they're buying or what they're selling at the time, because it could tank the stock or it could shoot the stock higher than they want. So ARK actually does it different. They release their buy alerts every single day. So that's what we're looking at here. So we could kind of gauge her average. So February 24th, she started buying all the way up to March 24th. So let's pull up the chart. So February 24th, right here. That was around her first buy, and she's buying all in this range. So we could say her average is probably like a high 11. So that is ARK's average, and then we're going to do a critical support line. That's our critical support line, which we're getting close to testing right now. So I would not be buying right now. I would wait until it bounces off the support and then add in my position or buy it there. If it breaks below, get out, because you're probably going to get it cheaper, maybe into the mid to low 10s. What I actually see on here that I like is it actually is flagging in this zone. So what I'm thinking is it's more likely to break out to the upside. So this is waving in here, and eventually it's going to break out. So it's going to break out and probably do a head and shoulders, inverted shoulder, head, shoulder, and run up. Probably like 15 would be a nice price target short term, maybe like a month or two out. If it breaks below, then it's got a lot more work. Then it's going to get a little shakier. So there is a bearish scenario. We could fall to the 10s, the mid 10s, and then from there bounce and probably linger around, maybe go a little lower, and then have a nice aggressive rally to push back up when maybe a new hedge fund starts buying, or one that already owns it starts to add into their position. I actually like this scenario. I think this is going to happen. It's going to break out probably once it really pins in here, but it really has to bounce off here and head back up. and maybe one more pull down and then the breakout. So it's either going to break out here or here. And then if it falls below, red flags, that's where I would cut my losses and get out. The plan is not working yet. So this is my price target, $15 price target by June. It's going to obviously not just go straight up in a line. It's going to have, like I said, these bounces, bounce around, and then head up, wave, and then eventually hit it by sometime May or June. That would be a really nice price target, but it has to bounce off of this critical support to do that. If it breaks below, then it's going to take much longer to get to that target, maybe by August, September, which obviously we don't want to wait that long. So this is a likely price target by June. I like that no institutions are selling, so I'll be watching that closely to see if any do sell. Also, if ARK starts putting any sells, which I don't see why she would, because she's doing nothing but buying. She's buying little increments here and there, loading up, getting a good average in this low area before maybe these guys start to release some financials or some maybe new clients they picked up. So that is it for the first episode of Trim the Hedges. Keep an eye on the stock, put it on your watch list. If it bounces off that 1082 critical support, gets back over 11, that's a green indicator. I will most likely be adding, I already have a position in this stock. If you want to know what my average is, or if you want to know when I do add more, or if I possibly get out, that link is in the description. It's called Stock Alerts. You'll get access to my portfolio and alerts right to your phone when I buy or sell this stock and other stocks. So thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe if you're new to the channel. If you want to stay in tune with what I'm doing with these Trim the Hedges, I'm shadowing what the hedge funds are doing. I want to buy what they're buying when they buy good stocks, and it's a good hedge fund. So hit the subscribe. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, by hitting that button, it's getting you a little bit closer to retiring young.